Today I will discuss about various electrical resistance measurement process. So here in detail we will discuss how contact resistance, equipotential surface and restriction on sample size, how these parameters are affecting when we are measuring the resistance of a sample or resistivity of a sample. Okay, so let's start. So first we will discuss about two probe resistance measurement. So here as you can see, this is a rectangular parallelepiped whose length is L, width is W and thickness is T. Here we applied a voltage V and measuring current I. So if we want to calculate the resistance of this parallelepiped, then this is very simple, that is V divided by I, that is R. But to know the conductivity of this sample, you have to measure the mechanical parameters of this parallelepiped, that is length, thickness and width. So from the definition of current density we can write J equal to I divided by W into T. So and electric field E equal to V divided by L. So from the relation J equal to sigma into E, we can find the conductivity relation sigma equal to I divided by V into L by W into T. But there are few disadvantages in two probe resistance measurement process. So first one is contact resistance cannot be removed. As you can see in this picture, so this is the sample resistance and this is one probe and this is another probe. So this is connected with this probe and the sample, so it has some finite resistance. So this also included while we are measuring the resistance of this sample. So in two probe measurement process we cannot remove these two contact resistances. So this is the one disadvantage. And the restriction on specimen shape. So if there if how this is affecting in measurement in resistance measurement process, that we will discuss on in detail in later slides. And the third one is it cannot provide an equipotential plane and current streamline flow, because in two probe current comes out of a point contacts. So this is the point contact and then spread through the sample near contacts. So current density is high, so contribution to resistance is disappropriate, because here we are measuring the high current density, this point and this point as well. So this is same for current sending or receiving, and this is the same probe we are using for measuring the voltage. So there are three main disadvantages in two probe resistance measurement. But in four probe resistance measurement process, so as you can see, this is a rectangular parallelepiped and here four probes are collinear and equally spaced and the spacing distance is s. So this you can see, this is the first, second, this is third and this is fourth. So these are equally spaced and collinear, and these outer probes are the current carrying electrodes. So this is for sending current and this will come, this will go and this will complete the loop, and inner electrodes are for measuring voltage. So here we will see how the contact resistance is removed in four probe measurement process. So as you can see, this is the two probe measurement schematic diagram. So here this contact 1 and contact 2, these are included in the measurement when we are measuring the sample resistance. So here we are measuring sample resistance plus contact resistance as well. But in the 4 probe or 4 point measurement system, we are measuring only the sample resistance. Why? Because this current is passing through this way and it is completing this way and this will close one loop. This current cannot flow this way or this way, because here one voltmeter is connected to measure the voltage, and we know the resistance of this voltmeter is very high. So the current is flowing through this loop is very small, so that's why the small I is very less than to capital I. So the contribution here is very small, so total current I is almost total current is passing through the sample, so we can get the actual voltage, actual the sample what sample resistance plus the voltage drop is happening here, so we can calculate the exact resistance of this sample. Okay, so that's how in the 4 probe measurement process only sample resistance we are getting, we are removing the contact resistance. So how in 4 probe method it is provide an equipotential plane. So as you can see in the 2 probe diagram, so here this two contact or two probes, so currents are spreading from a point contact, and so where we are measuring the voltage, there the lines of forces are not, the density of lines of forces are not equal. So this is not an equipotential surface, but in 4 probe measurement process, so where we are measuring the voltage, so as you can see this is the distance between lines of forces are almost equal, so we can get one equipotential surface in this region and we can measure correctly the voltage. So from there we can calculate the correct resistance of the sample. So before going to measure the 4 probe resistance, we have to make some assumption. So the first one is the resistivity is uniform in the area of measurements, and the diameter of the contact between the metallic probes and the sample, that should be small compared to the distance between the probe. So here my distance is S, and the third one is the surface should have high recombination rate. So if any injection of electrons or holes by the electrodes can recombine within their immediate vicinity, and their contribution to the resistivity is negligible. So these three assumptions we have to follow. And the last one, that is the effect on sample size, how the sample size is affecting in the measurement resistance measurement process. So here we will discuss two case. So first one is when t very greater than s. So here t is the sample thickness and s is the space between two probe. So as you can see, this is an semi-infinite sample. So the semi-infinite means it extends to infinity in all direction below a plane where the probe is located. Okay, so that means in this plane, so below in all direction, so this extends to infinity. That means this t is more much higher greater than the space distance, and this point is also located far from this boundary, and this probe is located far from this boundary. So that's why we are calling it in a infinite far away from the probe, so we can call it a semi-infinite sample. So the potential at a distance r from a current carrying electrode in a sample is given by V equal to rho I divided by 2 pi r. So here we are using the current density J equal to I divided by 2 pi r square, because the current streamlines are considered to have radial symmetry. Hence the area is 2 pi r square for a semi hemisphere, for a hemisphere. Okay, and from the relation dv divided by dr equal to minus rho I divided by 2 pi r square, we can calculate the potential V equal to rho I divided by 2 pi r. Hence the voltage difference between probe 2 and 3 is V equal to rho I divided by 2 pi s. This you can calculate. This is a very simple calculation. So you can consider a point r and you can calculate the distance from this point to this third probe and second probe, and from that distance to the third probe. So from there you can subtract, so that you can get the voltage difference between second probe and third probe, and then you can calculate. If you calculate, you will get this formula: V equal to rho I divided by 2 pi s. So here s is the spacing between two probe, I is the current, rho is the resistivity of the sample. So this is the formula to find the resistivity of a semi-infinite sample in 4 probe measurement process. So that is rho equal to 2 pi s v divided by I. So here one thing to be noted. So if we consider the space 1.59 millimeter, then this value will be 1. So you can get simply rho equal to v divided by I. That is why in many cases when someone is doing some measurement, they are trying to maintain this spacing distance so that their calculation will be much easier. Now one more case. So if the spacing distance between two probe is much higher than the sample thickness, that means if we measure a thin wafer or thin sample, then this the previous formula cannot be applied. So here the current density at a distance r from a current carrying electrode in a sample is given by I divided by 2 pi tr. So earlier we have written that this current density formula is different, but here this is a, you can consider a two-dimensional plane or two-dimensional sample because this thickness is much smaller than the probe distance. So here the current density will be I divided by 2 pi t into r, and the voltage difference is given by V equal to minus rho 2s the lower limit and s is the upper limit j dr. So because this at a distance 2s this third probe is located, and at a distance s this second probe is located, so we need the voltage difference between second and third probe because this second and third probe are measuring the voltage. So if we calculate this simple integration, so you can find the voltage V equal to I rho divided by pi into t ln2. So from there you can calculate the resistivity of the sample, that is rho equal to V divided by I pi t divided by ln2. So this is the resistivity formula for a thin sample using 4 probe measurement process. So there is one more resistance measurement process, that is Van der Paa method. So here as you can see, this is a rectangle kind of sample structure. So here 4 edges are connected using 4 wires. So this method is another kind of 4-point measurement process. So here some assumptions are, this method is for arbitrary shaped samples, and here contacts are on the sample edge, and sample thickness should be uniform, and sample is singly connected, that means there should not be any holes inside the sample. And so to find the resistivity of this sample, we have to measure the 4 possible resistances, that is R12 and R1234. That means if we apply current here and measuring in the other ends, and R2341, R3412 and R4123. That means in first case you have to measure sending current between 1 and 2 and measuring voltage between 3 and 4, and next combination this applying voltage 1 and 4 and measuring current between 2 and 3. So there will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 combination. So if you find all these combinations, so then you can find seat resistance using the formula R seat equal to pi r ijkl divided by ln2. So here r ijkl you can find from different 8 measurement process. So then if you average it, and then you will find it the final R. So from there you can calculate the R seat. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe our channel.